right, it is Tuesday, April 19th, 2023, and from the home studio, Middletown, Delaware, Marshal Manlove from My Sports Reports. This being a special interview edition of our show, and shortly you're going to meet a young basketball star from the state of Illinois and her head coach, and we'll introduce them to you here shortly. First of all, this show is brought to you by allaboutsportsu.com. Mr. Tim Wampler is a longtime softball coach and mentor, and he's developed this online training academy for softball players. And if you go to allaboutsportsu.com and decide to subscribe, use this promo code that you see on the screen here and take 15% off of that subscription. That's allaboutsportsu.com. Also, this is brought to you by me, Marshal Manlove, stage hypnotist. If you would like a funny, fascinating, and memorable experience for a party or an event that you're having, please consider my stage hypnosis show, details about which you can find at marshalmanlove.com. And now, hopefully, when I press this next button, my guests will appear, and it has worked. I have successfully made my guests appear from halfway across the country. I love technology. And let's introduce them. Ladies, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Sophie Swanson.
And I'm Barreiro, the head coach at Barrington High School in Barrington, Illinois.
So where is Barrington, Illinois, in relation to, I don't know, let's say Chicago?
Barrington's a suburb about 25 miles, I'd say, north, or not really north, basically west of the city.
Okay. What's it like out there? What kind of town is Barrington?
It's a beautiful town. Lots of farms, horseback riding, places like that. But it's about 72 square miles that make up the Barrington High School community and the district.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big area. A lot of kids feeding into the high school. We have about just under 3,000 kids here at our high school.
Wow. And Sophie Swanson. Hello. You are a senior, I take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know because I did research. Yeah, so I was asked how I decide to pick people to interview, and really it's just a matter of what catches my attention. And I found a Twitter feed actually with a post that was congratulating you about some of your accomplishments, and the number one on the list was that you ended up breaking the 2,000-point barrier for your career. Now, we do an episode here of amateur athletic sports milestones, and we included that, but I was just taking a look at some of the other things that you accomplished there, and congratulations on all these, some of which we'll go through. So how old are you, Sophie?
I'm 17.
And basketball players tend to be on a little on the tall side. How tall are you?
I'd say 5'10".
Okay, yeah. So that's a good height for somebody who might want to play college basketball. And I understand that you are going to play college basketball. And where are you going? Where are you headed, Sophie?
I'm going to Purdue.
So you're going to be a Boilermaker, correct?
Yep.
And what was your final decision-making process that landed you there at Purdue?
I'd say it definitely came down to the coaching staff. They were very, I knew that I was wanted there. They showed me a lot of love throughout the process. So ultimately that made my decision. It's close to home, Big Ten, you can't go wrong with that. So it's definitely a mix of all those.
Yeah, awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, Babby, how long have you been coaching Barrington?
This is, as a head coach, this was my 30th season as the head coach here at Barrington. I started here, I student taught, and then I was an assistant coach for a couple of different sports, and basketball included in that. And then I took over the head job, and I've been here 30 years as the head coach.
That's fantastic. It's good to see somebody stick with a career like that and mold young people into future successful people. So how does Sophie here compare to some of the other players that you've seen over the course of your time there, and let's just say statistically?
Well, statistically, first of all, I would say, we've been really fortunate. We've had lots of nice players coming through. I think if you're talking about Sophie, I think, and it's not to take away from any of our other players that we've had, and we've had some pretty good ones. Ashley Bergeron, they retired her jersey at Illinois. Lindsay Richards went to Iowa. She was very, very good. But I think statistically, and as far as I can see, Sophie's game is the best I've coached and been lucky enough to coach in my 30 years. The game's changed quite a bit over the years. Obviously, it's a faster game, and kids are just getting to be so much better and better. And Sophie completely dominates in most categories that we have. Not all, but I mean most. From points to, she's second on career all-time points, and really, it's because she had an injury as we started playoffs. She had an injury in our last 4 or 5 games she missed. But had she been in there, she would have far blown away our all-time scoring record. And she's up over 2,000. And I think there's a lot of really good players in the state of Illinois that are in the thousands, 1,500, 1,700. There's few that have broken that 2,000 mark. Mm-hmm. And as I said, she would have broken our school record easily. Had not been for that injury or the COVID year. She only played 12 games in the COVID year.
Right.
So, the fact that she's up there really speaks volumes to her ability.
Yeah, just for a little perspective, here in the state of Delaware, only 2 girls have scored 2,000 points.
Oh, wow.
One of them you might recognize. It's Elena Deldon. She's a pro player. No. Yeah, she's been there. Now, would that be something that you would aspire to do, Sophie? Play pro basketball, or do you have kind of other thoughts in your mind?
I haven't. I mean, I've definitely thought about it. Just like continuing basketball, whether it's WNBA or like overseas. I've definitely thought about it, but I also would want to like pursue a career in education and be a teacher. So I guess I'll figure that out when the time comes later.
Sure. Now, of those 2,098 points, that is the last that I see here. How many of them have come via dunk?
Sadly, none.
None? Okay. How far away, how close are you to perhaps throwing one down?
Right now, I got some
inches to grow.
Yeah.
So generally in a game, what position are you playing?
For high school, I'm point guard for us.
Okay. 5'10" point guard. Wow, yeah. And where do you see you fitting in with Purdue?
I think they were gonna have me play on the wing, so 2-3. Because like our team, we're big on threes, so catching, shooting, stuff like that. Yeah, I'll be on the wing for Purdue.
Yeah, Sophie's a scorer. She's a natural scorer. She can handle the ball. She handles the ball for us. But, I mean, Sophie's biggest strength is just in her ability to take over a game offensively. She's very dynamic on the court. She's got just a whole nother gear that gets her to where she wants to go. Her step back three is incredible. Really, one of the probably the best I've seen in the high school game. I truly believe that.
Wow, that's saying something for sure.
Yep.
Now, I understand you were just honored with a first team All-State award. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, is that for the entire state, or is it all divisions, or how does that break down in Illinois?
It's 4 divisions, so 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and then it's all state.
4A being the biggest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's all state for like those
first team.
Yeah, first team for that.
So your award is for the whole entire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, but do they do like all state 4A, 3A, 2A? Mm-hmm. Is that how it works? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. And then, so I see that you won something called Illinois Miss Basketball Winner as a junior. What's that about?
Well, they pick at the time like the best player in the state. Cool. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's
probably, I would say that's probably our most prestigious honor in the state.
Okay.
Illinois Miss Basketball is put on by the Chicago Tribune and the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association. That is just one award. They don't do that by division. That's just taking all the best players in the state, coaches, send in. And she did win that last year as a junior. They haven't announced that award yet for this year. But to win that as a junior, I can think of Candace Parker, who did that, Bree Beal, who did that, and maybe Morgan Tuck, I think, possibly.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic.
So she's in some pretty elite company there. Yeah, that's a huge award especially as a junior.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So I see also that you have the first and second highest amount of points in a season. Last year, 750, 705 this year, but as your coach just said, you missed some games. And what else? 23 points a game score average this year, a single game scoring high of 42 points. Talk about that game. What was that game like for you? Because generally when you talk to people and they have real big scoring games, there's just something else that they feel or they experience that particular day. Was there anything like that you can share?
Yeah, so last year, prior to the game, I committed to Purdue, so it was kind of cool to score that many points. And we also played our rival, so it was cool. We won the game. I beat the record. I committed, so it was a pretty good day.
Good day for Sophie.
Yeah.
Good day for the team.
Yeah, it was a good day. Yeah, how about that? What are some of the other highlights of your career that stand out to you?
I feel like probably the biggest thing is just like my growth from freshman year to now, mentally and physically. Like I've grown to be a better teammate. I'm more mature now, so I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. And then we got second place in state last year, and that was our first time going to state in the Barrington program history.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Yeah, awesome. And then how'd the team end up this year?
we lost the game that would have sent us to state by I think it was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was definitely tough, and just like being on the bench, it's just hard like not playing.
Yeah, of course. So what was the team's overall record this year?
I think we were 26-8, I believe, this year.
That's a good year.
So we were considered Elite 8. We lost the Super Sectional. But again, unfortunately for us, the first round of regionals. So in Illinois, it goes regionals, then sectionals, then the Super Sectional game to get downstate. So in our very first game, unfortunately, Sophie tore her ACL.
Oh.
So that was obviously a huge blow. And she handled it like a champion. And the kids handled it well. And, we made a nice run there down the stretch. But I mean, that gives you a perspective as to, some of these records that she holds or that she's close to holding, I think she takes care of. If she's there, I think we're downstate again this year. Hopefully, if she's with us. So yeah, she's been really remarkable though when it comes to handling that information, obviously that situation.
So talk about your recovery from the injury, Sophie.
Right now I think five weeks post-op from surgery. I'm ahead of schedule right now, so it's good. It's going well. Everything's going well. But it definitely was not how I wanted to go out.
Right.
With program and everything they've given to me. So it definitely sucked, but just being the best teammate I could be in that time. I think just staying positive. I have a really good support system, so they helped me through it all. I was able to stay grounded. So yeah.
So how, if at all, will Purdue help you through the recovery process between now and when you head there?
Yeah, so I use the Purdue surgeon,
Okay.
the surgeon that does all the Purdue athletes. So I have appointments and checkups with him, and then when I get there in June, they'll be able to work with me easier because it's only like 45 minutes away from the place. So it'll be a lot easier to work on my PT and stuff like that.
So you have to report in June, you say, huh?
Yeah.
And when do you graduate?
June 2nd, I believe, is our graduation date. June 2nd. Yeah.
And then what? You got to head there like on the 3rd or something?
The following week, yeah, I think it's like the 7th or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they don't mess around, huh?
Yeah.
So would you anticipate redshirting for your first year?
They've mentioned that, but I mean, obviously I don't want to. Like, I
Right.
want to be able to get back and play for my, first year in college. I'm gonna do everything I can to that like will put me in the best position to be able to, but obviously I want to heal properly. I don't want to push it or come back too early and then it does further damage. So it's really about like when the time comes and just how I'm healing over the next few months.
Let's see. You were also, what's this, MSL West? Is that am I reading that correctly? Is that your conference?
Yeah.
And you were Player of the Year 3 years in a row. And when do you expect to hear about those awards for this year?
Well, most of those awards, the only award that hasn't come out yet this year would be the Illinois Miss Basketball one. But she was MSL was Player of the Year sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I read that wrong. Yeah. Okay.
And then she was also first team AP and Illinois Basketball Coaches Association All State. That was both last year and this year. So again, those are really prestigious honors as far as those are only 5 to 10 kids on each of those teams being selected. So, good company. There's a lot of really good basketball in Illinois, and I mean, she won't say it, I'll say it. I mean, she's at the top of the heap, in my opinion.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's why you stood out. Yeah, fantastic. So you're not the only one on the court. Give some credit to some of the other teammates there, so we know who has helped you these past 4 years.
Yeah. I'd say definitely. Well, last year, Laura Malum, she graduated that year, but she was like a big person that I was lucky to have. I was able to talk to her about like pretty much anything. She helped me on the court. It was on and off. This year, 2 of my teammates, Molly O'Riordan and Gwen Adler, they're juniors. We got a lot closer. So they were also kind of, if I was not in the right place mentally, whether it was on or off the court, they were there for me. Gwen, I will say on the court, she's a rebounding machine. So anytime I miss, she'll get my board, kick it back out. But yeah, I'd say those 3 definitely made a big impact on me.
So what are some of the things that you do to kind of keep yourself mentally in tune for a game? Do you have any like rituals, good luck charms, anything like that? Any kind of anything of the nature?
I wear like the same spandex to every game. That was like a superstition like last year. This year I didn't really have anything, just like kind of getting in the zone. I think it like really depends on my mood of the day and like it really just depends like what I need at the moment. But I usually just like listen to music and like with our team we get pretty hype in the locker room, so that gets us going.
We try to be pretty habitual about pregame, shoot around and then they get on the bus, or if it's a home game, it's shoot around and then we go, talk about scout again, it's scout, information and all that kind of thing. So we try to keep it as routine as we can for them, because otherwise, high school athletes, there's so many things going on with them in their day and in and outside of the court, so we want to try to make it so we take all that stuff out and let them be as focused as possible. I think the kids are good about helping each other with that as well.
So if you had, this question is kind of for both of you, if you had to change any rules at the high school level, what would you like to see changed?
Shot clock. Shot clock. Last year, like at state, and even this year, it's just like teams are holding the ball for like 5 minutes at a time, 4 minutes at a time. Like we want to play. We don't want to just like stand there. But I'd say that's definitely a big part of high school basketball in general, but especially when it gets down to like the state tournament and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the answer out of nine out of 10 times I asked the question about basketball. We had a game here a bunch of years ago between two of our top Catholic school rivals. It was a 4-2 game. 4-2. You think it was a baseball, so it was basketball, right? So yeah, that's a common answer. Sophie, talk about your coach and what she's meant to you and the team. Maybe something that you've learned from her that you think you're going to take with you as you head forward in life.
No boy.
Yeah. I mean, we've been through a lot together. She's like a second mom to me. She knows like everything I've struggled with the past couple of years. So yeah, she's just like a really big person in my support system that I'm like very lucky to have.
It's okay to cry. That's more people tune in when somebody's crying.
Oh boy.
You just taught me so much about like not just basketball but just like life in general, because once the ball stops, like I have to just live my life without like playing. So she's definitely she's helped me mentally, definitely. Like she's always there for me no matter what. She coaches me like how I need it. Whether I'm like, if I'm in a bad place, she'll talk to me. Like she's just always there for me. She's always had my back. She's made me such like my progression from freshman to senior year. Like I would not be where I am without her. So I'm very blessed to have a coach like her.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's very nice to hear. And Coach, fill in any blanks there. What else should we know about Sophie if we haven't touched upon it in any way?
Oh, she's hands down one of the hardest competitors I've ever seen. You know, she's a hate to lose kind of kid. What I love, I think, most about Sophie is, first of all, there's a couple things. I love to watch her take over a game. You know, she's a team player, and we have really nice team chemistry around her. And, you know, you don't always have that when you have a superstar. And she's a superstar. Like we played one game earlier this year, and the coach on the other team wore black and gold gym shoes, the coach of the other team. And he said, I wore these today because it's the first time I've seen Sophie play this year, and I'm so excited to watch her play. And that was the head coach of another team. And so like, she's a superstar. And what's great about her is Sophie doesn't take any plays off. You know, she really doesn't. Many times she's, you know, making a deflection, or she's making a layup at one end of the floor, and then she's sprinting back to the back of our press and getting the steal within 3 seconds. And a lot of times you get kids, unfortunately, I think just as a society thing, we get some people that are those superstars. They don't always work at both ends of the court without, you know, really trying to pull it out of them and things like that. And you don't have to do that with Soph. I think she's honest, and she works hard. She loves the game. And she's just been a huge presence in this state of Illinois, really, since she came here. And I'm so excited to watch her in college. I tell her all the time, I think people are going to be talking about Sophie Swanson. Once she gets that knee better, I think we're going to be talking about Sophie Swanson a lot in the Big Ten and in the country. I really believe that in my heart of hearts. And you know, she's just been a pleasure to, I can't imagine what it's going to be like without her here. It's just so different. You know, she's in here sitting in my office lots of days. We're chit-chatting and talking, and it's a close-knit group. That's what I really love about this team. And I think she's been a huge, huge cog, obviously, in that wheel. So yeah, it's going to be different for sure, but not, I'm not even talking basketball wise. I'm just talking about the people and what she brings to, you know, how she picks up the younger kids, even as these last 4 or 5 games that she was out, 4 games that she was out. She wasn't sitting, she wasn't sulking, she was up, she was cheering, she was celebrating her team, she was coaching the younger kids. You know, we work summer camp, she's there every day with the littles. My daughter talks about, I have a 9-year-old daughter, she talks about Sophie every single day in my house, every day. I'm not even exaggerating. To this day, she talks about her. So, you know, It's she's been really a pleasure here these last 4 years. So
Thanks.
yeah, for sure.
Well, I am certainly glad that you caught my attention. I was able to meet the both of you and talk to you. It was a very nice conversation, that's for sure. And I wish you all the best of luck and success in your future.
Thank you.
I will
really
definitely follow. One of the reasons I like to do this too is like to follow the people that I talk to also, right?
Yeah.
You know, just see how they do, and you know, I'll watch, make sure that you've recovered, and hope that you make the team and all that, and see how the team does next year, and all. And that's a lot of fun. I like meeting people like this. It's fantastic.
We really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, wave goodbye to our growing fan base here, and then I will hit the end meeting for all, and hope that you have a great rest of the day and continued success.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. You
All
too.
right.
Thanks
Take
again.
great care.
All right.
Thank you, you too.
Bye now.
So that was Sophie Swanson, the name that you still see on the screen until I click this button here, and her head coach, Barbara Barreiro, from Barrington High School in Barrington, Illinois. It's a good interview. I like that one. Yeah, they were very nice. I like that, how they talked about each other there at the end. Very touching, for sure. If you would like to recommend somebody to come meet me so I can learn more about them, reach out to me at mysportsreports@gmail.com. Special thanks go out to my wonderful, beautiful wife, Dawnie M., and my friends Joey V. and Tommy K., supporters of the show from day one. You can support the show simply by subscribing on whatever platform you find these videos. Occasionally, press the play button. Okay, that's kind of how that works. If nobody presses the play button, you have no idea what's actually going on in the video, and you don't get to meet cool people like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm Marshal Manlove, and now from the home studio in Middletown, Delaware, a biggie farewell. As soon as I hit the end button, sometimes I forget to do that. Here we go.